Hi, my name is Don Matthews from Confederate Kennels. I started with the American Bulldogs about 1968. I've had white Bulldogs since the late 60s, probably 68. I got my first dog.
My name's Alan Scott, and I live in Hammondville, Alabama. I've been breeding American Bulldogs for 47 years. I started with American Bulldogs in 1967. And in 1970, I was able to get the National Kennel Club to recognize the American Bulldogs as a purebred breed.
They were not known as American Bulldogs at that time. We just called them white Bulldogs or whatever.
Then John D. and I started breeding together. We went back then and traced bloodlines and everything, and the first dogs weren't registered until 1973. John D. and I bred together for a lot of years until the late 70s, and he wanted his dogs to be a whole lot bigger, bigger headed and just bigger in size. And here where I live, the heat and humidity is really bad in the summertime, and I couldn't use that type of dog. I had to stick with the traditional dogs that I had started with, and that's what I've bred all these years. Been doing it for 47 years now.
I got my first dogs from Allen, which were, at that time, they had registered the dogs. So I've had Bulldogs continually till the present date. Don't know how much longer I can keep feeding them, but I started with standard dogs. Had nothing but standard dogs for probably 20 years. Still maintaining my standard, a few standard dogs. So I got up to the point of about 40 dogs. But I was curious as to how to create a black American Bulldog. Very controversial. And really, if I wasn't who I was, it probably wouldn't have flown. But John Lichtart did a breeding between a game-bred black pit bull, and I acquired a couple of dogs from him. I also had a friend that did PSA and French Ring, Mondo. He had a large black staff. We took that dog, bred it over a bully hybrid dog, and I began to keep dogs out of that. Over the next 6 or 8 years, I began to cross these two lines together to where I was able to register them, and that's the dogs I have now. I've got a couple of straight black standard dogs. people say, what's the difference? Are they better than the black or the white? Really, there's no difference. I don't think, maybe the black ones tend to be a little bit hotter, maybe a touch more aggressive to another animal. But I've cut down to 20, 25 dogs now, and as I'm getting older, I need to cut down some more. But that's kind of a quick overlay of, say, starting at 1968, I would say, with a line of white dogs that were in Florida. At that time, dogs were, a big dog, he was considered huge, would be about 70 pounds. They probably, and a lot of times we trimmed their ears in those days, and they probably looked more like a modern day dogo than what they look like. I would kind of like to have go back in time and take one of those dogs and bring him forth, but I do have a couple of standard dogs. My standard dogs tend to be a little on the smaller side for people. A male, maybe 75 pounds. They breathe very well. They can run all day. They're not dog aggressive. They're just might not be the dog for the average dog person, but probably still my favorite. Besides Alan Scott, I'm not sure who got the white dogs first, because I had him before I met him. He probably did, but I would say he's maybe the only person that's had these dogs as long as I have, and we've become friends in the early to mid 70s. And have continued to be friends. As a matter of fact, we just got back from a dog show we went to together, but we still do a little dog trading, and we've gotten to be close friends. We're both closing in on 70, so I don't know how much longer that'll last, but between him and I, we've got a few dog stories. And I would tell a few of the stories, but it may hurt people. There's a lot of pedigrees out there floating around that are not correct, but I won't do anything to hurt anybody's program or something. But a lot of the newer people say my dog is pure this or pure that. Nah, I know it goes back, and that's one nice thing about being around so long. You know how a lot of these dogs are bred. John D. Johnson, I went to his yard the first time in 1975, and at that time a puppy was bringing $50 to $75. When I went to John D's, he had a puppy I really liked, and I asked him what he wanted for it. He said $200, and I said, no way in this world would I pay that much for a dog. And I think the people that are running his kennel now, I think they get $2,500 to $3,000 for a pup. So things have changed over the years, and sometimes not for the better, but there's still a lot of good dogs out there, and there's a lot of good dog breeders. So, but I don't know if you need anything else or not.